All right, today we're going to be making pesto, and we're going to be using basil and Swiss chard. So here's our pile of basil. I've got one or two batches made already, and here's we're using both a regular and a ruby red Swiss chard. You can also use spinach or arugula or another green like kale if you want, whatever you like. But arugula is a really good choice. It pairs well with basil and with mint if you're going to use a mint pesto. So. And then we've already got a batch of sunflower pesto made. This one's going to be pumpkin seed. So we got about a cup of pumpkin seeds, 2/3 a cup of a good quality extra virgin olive oil, 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, 2 packed cups of your greens like Swiss chard, and then 3 packed cups of basil. So, a pile like this big, that might be 6 cups or so. It takes quite a lot of basil once you start packing it in. So a food processor or a blender is really helpful. So this is a Breville sous chef food processor. I like to just dump in most of the greens. Save a few because we'll put those in later to give it a little bit more texture. Then we can dump in our basil, most of it again. We'll reserve some to use later. And we'll dump our pumpkin seeds in. So our last batch we'll be using walnuts, just because we have some friends and neighbors who don't do nuts, so we'll do the nut batch last so we don't cross-contaminate. And we'll put our oil in on top. Make sure that all gets drained out of there. There we go. And then we're gonna go for about half a lemon is what I've squeezed in here. Try not to get any seeds. There we go. We'll toss in our garlics. And then about a teaspoon or so of salt. And you want to do is a good salt, like a Celtic sea salt or Redmond real salt. We'll just toss in some of this Celtic salt here. Just sprinkle a little bit of that in on top. You can also throw in some pepper or whatever else you want. And then we're gonna we like to make stuff dairy-free, so we're gonna use about 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, and that will take the place of the Parmesan or other cheese that you wanna use for your flavoring. So, looks like we've got most of the stuff in, so we'll throw our food processor on there and we'll just pulse it a little bit. And you can crack it open and use your spatula here to stir it up a little bit. You see we got one leaf hanging up there. I like to make it pretty smooth, and then we'll throw the rest of the greens in on top of it, and those will be kind of the coarser greens. So we'll just let that run until it's pretty smooth. That looks good. So you can kind of see the consistency there. Now we'll just drop in the rest of our greens and the rest of our basil, maybe. And this batch is looking a little dry, so I might just toss in a little bit of more olive oil. This is not an exact science here at all, so just kind of do it however you want it. And now we're just gonna pulse it just a little bit to kind of cut those last greens up and give it that kind of stringier texture that'll stick to your food. And again, we can kind of take our spatula and stir it and make sure that those are going to get cut up. And that should be good. So then you can put it in. So that batch will make about 2 cups of pesto. So this was a sunflower batch that we made. Now we've got 2 more cups of pumpkin pesto, and then we'll go and do some nut pestos. So after you get it into your container, if you're going to freeze it or refrigerate it, just pour some extra virgin olive oil on top. That kind of seals it in and will help preserve it. Otherwise it'll go bad really quickly. So hope you enjoyed the video.